Suppose chapter 30, 31st. Okay. So this is chapter 31, verse number 1. Narada instructs the Prachetas. Maitreya uvacha Tat utpana vijnana asaduksa jabasitam smaranta atmaje bharyam Vishrija pravajam grihat. Next. Next person.
Maitreya uvacha.
Maitreya uvacha.
Tata utpanna vijnana.
Tata utpanna vijnana.
Asvadoksha bhasitam. Smaranta atmache bharyam. Vishrija pravajam grihat.
Okay, translation. The great saint Maitreya continued. After that, the Prachetas lived at home for thousands of years and developed perfect knowledge in spiritual consciousness. At last, they remembered the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and left home putting their wife in charge. Putting their wife in charge of a perfect son. Purport: after the Prachetas had finished their penances, they were blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord blessed them by telling them that after finishing their family life, they would return home back to Godhead in due course of time. After finishing their family life, which lasted thousands of years, according to the calculations of the demigods, the Prachetas decided to leave home, putting their wife in charge of a son named Daksha. This is the process of Vedic civilization. In the beginning of life, as a brahmachari, one has to undergo severe penances and austerities in order to be educated in spiritual virtues. The brahmachari or student is never allowed to mingle with women and learn from the beginning of life about sex enjoyment. The basic flaw in modern civilization is that boys and girls are given freedom during school and college to enjoy sex life. Most of the children are Varna Shankara, meaning born of undesirable fathers and mothers. Consequently, the whole world is in chaos. Actually, human civilization should be based on the Vedic principles. This means that in the beginning of life, boys and girls should undergo penances and austerities. When they are grown, they should get married, live for some time at home, and beget children. When the children are grown up, the man should leave home and search for Krishna consciousness. In this way, one can make one's life perfect by going home to the kingdom of God. Unless one practices penances and austerities in this life, he cannot understand the existence of God. Without realizing Krishna, one cannot make his life perfect. The conclusion is that when the children are grown up, the wife should be put in the children's charge. The husband may then leave home to develop Krishna consciousness. Everything depends on the development of mature knowledge. King Prachinabarisat, the father of the Prachetas, left home before the arrival of his sons who were engaged in austerity within the water. As soon as the time is ripe, or as soon as one has developed perfect Krishna consciousness, he should leave home, even though all his duties may not be fulfilled. Prachinabarisat was waiting for the arrival of his sons, but following the instructions of Narada, as soon as his intelligence was properly developed, he simply left instructions for his ministers to impart to his sons. Thus, without waiting for their arrival, he left home. Giving up a comfortable home life is absolutely necessary for a human being, and is advised by Prahlad Maharaj. Hitatmapatam griham andakupam. To finish the materialistic way of life, one should leave his so-called comfortable home life, which is simple, a means for killing the soul, Atma Padam. The home is considered to be a dark well covered by grass. And if one falls within this well, he simply dies without anyone's caring. One should therefore not be too much attached to family life, for it will spoil one's development of Krishna consciousness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumidam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this chapter is the continuation of the previous chapter. The previous chapter gave us the activities of the Prachetas, how under the instructions of King Prachinabarisat, they went to perform austerities in order to become the leaders of the society after he retires. So then, upon finishing austerities, of course, they met Narada Muni, who instructed them otherwise. And the Prachetas, after getting the blessings of the Lord, remember in the beginning, when they emerged from water, having meditated upon the Lord using the prayers that were composed by Lord Shiva, when they saw the Lord in water while they are in meditation, and then after the Lord blessed them in that meeting in water, they then came out of water. And then they saw that the earth was overgrown with big trees. They became angry and started burning the trees. And then they were pacified by Lord Brahma, who came and instructed them or told them to stop this destruction. And then the trees who survived that destruction, they offered Marisha to the Prachetas as their wives. As their wife. Many people marrying one wife. It's just another phenomenon. And of course, they lived at home for some times. And this verse says that at last they remembered the blessings of the Supreme Lord and left home, putting their wife in charge of the perfect Son. So Prabhupada says that, or he's giving the understanding of the Vedic system, how initially the boys are trained not to intermingle with girls from the beginning. They're not given that freedom. And they go to school where they perform austerities. And Prabhupada said this is a process of Vedic civilization. In the beginning of life, as brahmachari, one has to undergo severe penances and austerities in order to be educated in spiritual life. So the reason why the boys were taken to Gurukul was that they be trained in austerities and penances so that they can develop spiritual life. And then after that, they got married. So the Gurukul system was 25 years. From 5 years up to 20 years or plus, they were in school. And then they will be graduated after 25 years. And then they will go home. And then Grihastha life also is another 25 years, which means if someone who's married at 20, 25, plus another 25 years, by the time he's 50, his 25 years in Grihastha life was over. He had to go to the next ashram, which is Vanaprastha. That was also 25 years. Of course, nowadays, that doesn't apply to ISKCON devotees because we are living at a different time and we are already engaged in devotional service. So these people left Grihastha life to become more seriously engaged in devotional service in order to prepare themselves for going back home, back to Godhead. So that's the difference. Sometimes when we hear these crosses, we start to panic. What should we do? Should we leave our family now? No, it's not exactly the same. Yes, in ISKCON also, you have to live family life after some times and take Vanaprastha. Yeah, that is there, but it's not compulsory. But in Vedic culture, it was a system that was there for everyone. So, and then after that, they will take Vanaprastha. So there are different stages in Vedic culture of doing this. At first time, a person will leave home and build a kutir or temporal shelter within the village called Kutichaka. And then after that, and he will be still getting food from his house. And then after some times, and then he will move furthermore. That is Bahudaka. In Bahudaka, he will start finding food for himself. And then the next stage is called Paramahamsa. He will start, Parivragacharya, he will start traveling now as a sannyas. And then the last stage of sannyas is called Paramahamsa, where he stops traveling and do bhajan, preparing himself to go back home, back to Godhead. So those were different stages. But of course in ISKCON we don't have those stages. We become a Grihastha, You can die a Grihastha also. It's not a problem because you are already practicing Krishna consciousness. But if you feel you need to renounce, you can renounce. In ISKCON, if you want to live household life, and you need a written letter from your wife saying that this man has fulfilled all his duties, now I'm allowing him to leave home and become sannyas. And then we will accept you. It's okay, Jai, you've got the blessings of the Masterji, and then we'll give you sannyas. But without that, we don't give sannyas. Yeah. So that's our system. It's different from this system. Yes, you have to fulfill your duties in family life to the satisfaction of your family. You don't just run away. Yes, so we don't allow that. Here they say just go to the forest like that. Yes, but in ISKCON we don't allow that. A person must have fulfilled all his duties in the family. You don't just run away from your duties. So that's a system. Why is that? Because in ISKCON we are a spiritual organization. In a spiritual organization, we are trying to cater for everyone. We are trying to create a platform whereby everyone can progress. Yes. So, a person who has children, he has a duty to create an environment whereby those children also can advance in spiritual life, and he has a duty to help his children also to go back home, back to Godhead. So those duties need to be done properly. And then if he has done those duties, and then he can leave home with the blessings of his family. That is accepted. So it's not that just because now someone has reached a certain age, now he has to run away from home. No, we don't allow that. Yeah, what we are reading here was a system that was followed many years ago. And Prabhupada here is making an important point about the brahmacharya life. Yes. He says that unless one practices penances and austerities in his student life, he cannot understand the existence of God. Without realizing Krishna, one cannot make his life perfect. So that way, in Gurukul, the students learn how to live simple with their lives dedicated into serving the Guru and the Gurukul and serving the Supreme Lord. That's the first training that they get. Early in the morning, they get up, they chant mantras. After chanting mantras, they will do yagyas. Yes, and then after that, they have to go door to door in the village to beg some food on behalf of their Guru, come back and do more service. So that's a system which trains them to surrender to the Supreme Lord right from the beginning. So that is what Prabhupada is talking about. That he says that in Kali Yuga, most of the children, he says, are Vana Sankara, meaning born of undesirable fathers and mothers. So meaning that he's talking about the karmis, that they are born from mothers who are non-devotees. So in that way, even such children who are born from mothers and fathers who are non-devotees, they can become perfect if they come in contact with the process of devotional service. We saw that when Prabhupada went to America, he was preaching to people who did not have this Vedic culture of regulations, the culture of purificatory processes. No, they were not. I did not come from that culture either. You see, but by the mercy of the devotees, we also became devotees, and we are being benefited by this process. So even those children who are considered to be Varna Shankara, they can become perfect devotees if they come in contact with the devotees and learn from them how to engage in devotional service. Yes, apart from all the Vedic procedures, there is the mercy of the Supreme Lord also to those living entities who are fortunate enough to come in contact with the process of devotional service. So because this process of devotional service is so powerful that it purifies just like the sun's rays. When the sun comes to a dirty place, it evaporates the dirtiness of that place and purifies that place. So in a similar way, devotional service is like that. It doesn't matter who the person may be, but he gets purified if he is under fire of devotional service. So all these kind of like procedures were there, say, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. But in Kali Yuga, the most beneficial process is that of chanting the holy name. And that is available for everyone, whether inauspicious or auspicious, or if someone is coming from auspicious or inauspicious background. Yeah, the process works. Yeah. But Bhagavatam, because it gives like an account of devotees who lived in the past, doesn't mean that exactly the procedures apply to us. Because we are living in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, the methods for attaining the Supreme Lord may differ. So the Lord appeared as Lord Chaitanya and gave the holy name as the medicine of all problems. So in that way, sometimes when we read Bhagavatam, it's confusing. Yeah, it's like, but actually, these are procedures which were followed by the people in the past. In Kali Yuga, our procedure is to engage in devotional service and chant the holy name. No matter who we are, we will get the same benefits. So therefore, we should always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Of course, accompanying that chanting should be the standard that is given by Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas. And the benefits are there. Thank you very much. Now I think we have to depart. They say in devotional service that God is called Vipralamba. We meet and depart. I remember when we were doing Bhakti Vaibhav, there is a statement that living beings are like straws that are floating in the river's waves. Sometimes they meet, sometimes they separate. Yeah, so it's true. So we meet, sometimes we separate, and we will meet again, and then it will be nice. It was very nice being here. Now it's time for me to be separated. The waves of time are kind of taking me away from Zurich, but and again we'll meet maybe in the following year. So thank you very much for your kindness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sanat Bhakti Narasimha Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Arwa.
You will take some breakfast with you.
I put some fruit ready for you if you would like.
In the room.
Oh,
You want me to take it with me?
I put it in the plate, but if you want, we can pack it.
You like to take some granola?
No, thanks. I don't think I should anything. I'm okay. I'm done.
Okay.
It's not a long day, it's just 1 hour.
Maybe some sandwich, burger.
Thanks.
I don't take sweets.
Pizza.
No, I will eat when I get there. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, when I travel, I don't really eat much. I eat when I get there. Unless it's like a long flight.
This is 1.5 hours.
Yeah, it's just undeniable. Yes, so we can go now.
Where are the suitcases?
They are upstairs, I'll bring them now. Okay, Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Hope to see you next year. Yeah, now I'm waiting to Brazil. I spoke to Krishna Murthy. Yeah, they are organizing.
I have gone there, but in November.
November.
Because I need Italian passport. Actually legal.
Okay.
With Brazilian passport, I cannot go ahead.
Okay.
Otherwise, my passport, not an passport. And maybe no.
When the Italian passport coming?
Not in November, but you know that the Italian bureaucracy.
Yeah.
I accepted the invitation of the work from them, but very nice. And I'm so sorry for our offenses also.
I don't know what is offense. No offense. I don't know. Okay, we'll keep in touch.
Here I am outside. And
Yeah.
but the next time to come is summer. Yes.
December.
The summer.
Summer, yeah.
Because the out happens in summer.
Okay.
And then after here is the same date of the Republic.
July.
Yes, July 27th.
Okay.
And this is a very special time.
Yes, next year I'll come around. I'll be here in Europe by June, July.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. You're from Ukraine? Okay. Kiev? Okay. Yeah, I always wanted to go to Kiev, but I didn't get time. Yes, I'm still coming to Kiev. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So today is the appearance day of Gadadhar Pandit. He is one of the Panchatattva, and he is considered to be the energy, Bhakti Shakti, incarnation of Srimati Radharani. Jagannath Baldev Subramanian ki jai, Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai. So I will read this article from ISKCON.org on Gaudiya history. Sri Gaurahari had so much affection for Sri Gadadhar Pandit that he wouldn't be without him for a moment. He appeared a year after Lord Chaitanya. Gadai and Nimai were inseparable as childhood playmates. Peaceful, renounced, serious, self-composed, fond of solitude, Gadadhar proved quite a contrast to his bosom friend Gaura Rai, who was fickle and unsteady and whimsical. Sri Gadadhar was the constant companion of Mahaprabhu from the time of their childhood. His father's name was Sri Madhava Mishra and his mother's name Sri Ratnavati Devi. They lived very near the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra in Mayapur. Ratnavati Devi thought of Sachi Devi as her own sister and always used to visit her. During their childhood, Sri Gaurahari and Gadadhar would play together, sometimes at Mahaprabhu's house and sometimes at Gadadhar's house. They both studied together at the same school. Gadadhar was a few years younger than Nimai. Nimai wouldn't remain without Gadadhar even for a moment, and Gadadhar likewise wouldn't stand to be separated from Nimai. In the Gaur Ganadesh Dipika, it is described that the person who in Vraja was the daughter of Sri Vrishabhanu Raj, namely Srimati Radharani, is now celebrated as Sri Gadadhar Pandit. Srila Swarup Damodar has written in his diary, Avani Sura Bhava Sri Pundarikyo Avani Surabhava Sri Panditakyo Chatindra Sakalo Bhavati Radha Srila Gauravataro. Sri Vasudev Ghosh Thakur has also written, Agam Agachor Gaura Akhil Brahma Par Veda Upar Nachane Pasandi Mati Bora Nityananda Chaitanya Govinda Pandit Gadadhar Radhe Chaitanya Yugala Rupa Kebol Rasar Kup Avatar Sachiva Sade Antare Nave Khana Bahira Gora Tanu Yugala Rupa Parkashe Kahe Vasudeva Ghosh Yugala Bhajan Pashe Janme Rahu Ash. Lord Gaura Sundar, who is beyond the purview of the scriptures, beyond the entire Brahman, and above even the Vedas, can never be known by the atheists, whose intelligence is dull. Lord Nityananda is his eternal self. Lord Chaitanya is Lord Govinda himself. And Pandit Gadadhar is none other than Sri Radha. The divine couple who are present in Sri Chaitanya are a well of rasa. Advaita Acharya Sadashiva has prayed for his descent. Within he is blackish but of a golden hue, without the manifestation of the divine couple. Thus Vasudev Ghosh signs of the beauty of this divine couple. Sri Gaur Gadadhar, in whose worship he has been completely subjugated, he prays, that he will desire to serve them birth after birth. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita we likewise find Panditir Bhav Mudre Kahan Nachai Gadadhar Prananatha Jamhoila Jai Panditir Kripa Prasad Elehan Nachai Gadai Gauranga Kari Sarva Loke Gai. The emotions and expressions of Pandit Gadadhar are not possible to describe. Another name of Lord Gauranga is the Lord of Life of Gadadhar. Who can understand what mercy has been bestowed upon him? Their glories are sung by everyone as Gadai Gauranga. During the time when Sri Ishwarapuri was present for a few months in Navadvip at the house of Sri Gopinathacharya, he taught Gadadhar from the book he had composed, Sri Krishna Lilamrita. Gadadhar was from his very childhood very serene, patient, calm, quiet, fond of solitude, and very renounced. Nimai Pandit, during the time of his precocious youth, would ask his fellow students meaningless, fallacious questions in logic. Gadadhar, however, was not especially fond of this pastime, and therefore he sometimes used to remain at some distance from Nimai. But Nimai wouldn't allow him to get away. He would tell him, Gadadhar, in a very short time I'll become such a Vaishnava that Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva themselves will come to my door. Sri Gadadhar Pandit was very affectionate toward Mukunda Datta. Whenever any Vaishnava came to Navadvip, Mukunda would inform Gadadhar and they would both go to have darshan. One time, Pundarik Vidyanidhi came from Chattagram to Navadvip and Mukunda invited Gadadhar to come along and meet him. Gadadhar was very excited to meet such a Vaishnava, and thus the two of them happily set out together to take advantage of Sadhu Sangha with the famous Pundarik Vidyanidhi. However, when Gadadhar saw that Pundarik Vidyanidhi dressed and acted like a wealthy materialist, he lost whatever reverence he had previously felt, even before speaking with him. Gadadhar thought of himself, how can a Vaishnava look and act as if he was so addicted to sense enjoyment? However, Mukunda knew the real character of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and he could also sense the doubts in the mind of Gadadhar Pandit. Thus he recited some shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavatam in a very sweet voice. When Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard this beautiful recitation of these shlokas, in a fit of ecstasy he began to cry while calling Krishna, Krishna, and finally fainted dead away on the floor. Gadadhar now felt very remorseful in his mind. He thought to himself, because I have ignorantly considered this highly advanced soul to be an ordinary materialist, what an offense I have committed. In order that I might be saved from the reaction of this offense, I think the only solution is to accept initiation from him. Gadadhar Pandit submitted his proposal to Mukunda, who presented it to Pundarik Vidyanidhi with a full account of the Pandit's high qualifications. Hearing this proposal, Pundarik became very happy. Providence has bestowed upon me a great jewel. Certainly I will accept him. You shouldn't have any doubt about that. It is the result of many lifetimes of good fortune that one gets a disciple like this. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Lila. On an auspicious day, Sri Gadadhar Pandit received the divine mantra from Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, upon going to Gaya Dham, first began to manifest Krishna Prem. There he enacted the pastimes of accepting the shelter of Sri Ishwarapuri. After returning to his house, he began to exhibit a new life. Day and night he floated in the ocean of love of Krishna. Gadadhar, upon seeing the Lord, showering of tears in love of Krishna, also began to cry in ecstatic love. From this time, Gadadhar Pandit was always at Mahaprabhu's side. One day, Sri Gadadhar brought some pan to Sri Gauranga, who, in an exuberance of emotion, asked him, "Gadadhar, where is that beautiful blackish boy who is dressed in yellow garments?" After asking this, he began to shed tears. Gadadhar couldn't immediately think of what to say. He finally respectfully suggested, "He is in your heart." Hearing this, Mahaprabhu began to tear at his chest with his nails, but Gadadhar quickly grabbed his hands. Prabhu said to him, "Gadadhar, let go of my hands. I cannot remain a moment more not seeing Krishna." Gadadhar replied, "Just try to be a little patient and calm yourself. Krishna will come any minute now." Hearing this, Mahaprabhu became somewhat composed. Sachimata heard all this from a distance and then came running there. Being very pleased with Gadadhar, she declared, "Though he is just a boy, he is very intelligent. I am frightened to go before my son when he is in this mood." But Gadadhar has very cleverly pacified him. Sachimata told Gadadhar, "Gadadhar, you must please remain with Nimai always. If you stay with him, then I won't have to worry." One day, Sri Gadadhar, having heard that Mahaprabhu will speak Krishna Katha at Shuklambar Brahmachari's house, went there and sat down inside. Meanwhile, Mahaprabhu arrived outside on the veranda and began to speak about Krishna to an audience of devotees there. Gadadhar Prabhu listened from within the house. Soon Mahaprabhu became totally absorbed in the ecstasy of Krishna Prem, which quickly spread to the assembly of devotees. For some time they continued to taste the mellows of love of Krishna together and then became themselves. Gadadhar, however, couldn't restrain his ecstasy. With his head bowed down, he continued to cry very loudly. Hearing his pitiful sobbing, Mahaprabhu inquired, "Who is crying within the room?" Shuklambar Brahmachari replied, "You are Gadadhar." Mahaprabhu explained, "Gadadhar, you are so pious and virtuous. Since your very childhood, you were so devoted to Krishna. My life has been wasted. Due to my previous evil activities, I cannot get the association of the Lord of my life, Sri Krishna." Saying this, Prabhu embraced Gadadhar in great love. When Mahaprabhu began his pastimes in Navadvip, Gadadhar was his chief companion. Radha Krishna of Raja are now sporting on the banks of the Ganga as Gadai Gauranga, and the cowherd boyfriends of Raja are assisting in his pastimes of Kirtan. One day, after roaming throughout the town of Navadvip, Mahaprabhu came to the forest and seated himself there. Then he began to remember his pastimes in Raja. Mukunda began to sing the Purvavak courtship song in a very sweet voice, while Gadadhar collected some flowers from that forest after stringing a garland, placed it on Prabhu's neck. Previously, in the way that Sri Radha used to decorate Sri Krishna, Gadadhar began to dress Mahaprabhu in that exact same manner. Some were singing beautiful songs, while others began to dance in a very graceful style. Then Sri Gaurasundar, taking Gadadhar by his side, seated himself on a dais at the base of a tree, while Advaita Acharya began to offer arti. Nityananda seated himself on Prabhu's right side, and Srivas Pandit began to decorate everyone with flower garlands. Narahari was fanning the divine couple with a whisk made from the tail hairs of forest cows. Shuklambar decorated them all with sandalwood paste, while Murari Gupta recited the Premadvani. Madhva, Vasudev, Purushottam, Vijay and Mukunda began to sing songs in the various ragas. Then Mahaprabhu closed his pastimes in Nadia, and as per his mother's request, he took up his residence in Nilachal, at Nilachal. Gadadhar also went there to live at this time. He engaged himself in the service of Sri Tota Gopinath. Mahaprabhu would very often visit his dear friend Gadadhar and lose himself in discussing on the topics of Sri Krishna. The temple of Sri Tota Gopinathji is located near the ocean at Yameshwar. When Lord Chaitanya travelled to Sri Vrindavan, Gadadhar, not being able to bear the separation from him, wanted to go also, but Mahaprabhu reminded him of his vow of Kshetra Sannyas, by which he was to remain constantly in Sri Kshetra in the service of Sri Gopinath, and sent him back. Sri Gadadhar Pandit would regularly recite Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Gaurasundar, along with his associates, would listen. Then one might ask a question: if Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined, where is the necessity for the appearance of Gadadhar Pandit? The answer to this is that it has been explained that Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the search of the loving sentiment of Radha and Krishna. Sri Gadadhar Pandit represents the Bhava personified, and thus he has appeared to be at the side of Mahaprabhu to assist him in his search. In this explanation, Gadadhar gives his unalloyed love of Lord Gauranga willingly to Lord Gauranga. It has also been explained that Krishna has stolen the bhava of Radha and appears as Mahaprabhu. Radha Krishna combined. Gadadhar represents that which is left of Radha after Krishna steals her bhava. The mood is that seeing that neither Sri Radha nor Sri Krishna appear on the Purnima Tithi, full moon, but when the divine couple combine as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this appearance in the world occurs on the Purnima in Navadvip. Sri Gadadhar Pandit appears on the new moon and leaves the world on the same day. It's interesting, Radharani and Krishna both appeared on us on the 8th day, which is between full moon and new moon, and Lord Chaitanya took birth on full moon, and Nityananda and Gadadhar on new moon. Yeah. Very interesting. Sri Gadadhar Pandit appears on the new moon and leaves the world on the same day. New moon means no moon, dark moon, or Amavasya Tithi. He also appeared in the land that is desert-like, dry and vacant, in contrast to the lush Ganga basin of Navadvip. There's much more to read. You carry on? All of this indicates the condition of the heart of or nature of Sri Gadadhar. He is thus feeling empty and lets everyone know about it too. It is said that what remains in him is the bhava of Rukmini, who is Radha's expansion in Dwarka. Thus his surface mood is in Gaura Lila is like that of the Dakshine, right-wing Gopi, rather than a Vama Gopi, left-wing. Vama type is little aggressive in nature and fights with her lover. However, to prove Gadadhar's dedication as right-wing, he is submissive to the extreme. Dakshina type tolerates everything whatever comes. Only with a defensive attitude he stands. That is Dakshina path. That is as in Srimati Rukmini Devi. So when the spirit of Radharani of that opposing nature was drawn out by Mahaprabhu, then what remains is compared like that of Rukmini, as a passive seer, without any power to assert, only onlooker. Onlooker and bearing everything. A very pitiable condition. The idea is to awaken kindness and sympathy from everyone. It's deep. What is he and what is she? And what is her position now? And how her lover has taken up everything from her, looted everything from her, leaving her as a beggar wandering in the street. So much looted. Radharani, when looted to such a degree by Krishna, that becomes Gadadhar, the pitiable figure. The wealth, of course, cannot go forever. She is the proprietor. Owner cannot be far off. After a long time, that must come to her again one day. And those who are helping her in her day of distress, they will get how much remuneration at that time, when she will get back all property. Just as in Raja Srimati Radharani is the queen and proprietor of everything, so Gadadhar is master of everything. But still, here he has given everything to his master, and thus in one sense he is empty. This mood of being empty is unique. He is playing in such a way as his part or play, as Gadadhar Pandit. He is the highest position of self-sacrifice. Nimai Pandit showed his character as an aggressor, impertinent, and an extraordinary genius. Gadadhar Pandit was just the opposite. He had some natural inclination that was in his submission and total dedication towards Nimai Pandit. And Nimai Pandit also had some special attraction to Gadadhar Pandit, but Gadadhar Pandit could not face Nimai Pandit directly. Some sort of shyness he felt about Nimai Pandit. So this is what we know about Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit had very intimate relationship with Mahaprabhu, in which the Acharyas, Swarup Damodar, Rupa Sanatan, Kaviraj Goswami, Raghunath Das, all of them could see Radharani and Rukmini both in his personality. And according to that, we can try to understand him. It is true that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Rajendranandan Krishna. Within him, he is the case with Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. All of his expansions are present. Thus, as Gaur Narayan, he consorts with Rukmini in her appearance as Lakshmi Priya Devi. Furthermore, just as Rajendranandan Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, similarly Sachinandan Gaura Krishna never leaves Navadvip Dham. Thus the Leela of Mahaprabhu in Puri, which is representative of Dwarka, is imbued with Aishwarya opulence, not found in Nadia. Indeed, this Aishwarya is said to have weighed heavily on Gadadhar Pandit and influenced his loving sentiment of bhava. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says of Gadadhar in Puri Dham that because he was influenced by Aishwarya Gyan of Gauranga, he was also Srila Prabhupada he was, as Srila Prabhupada comments further, always submissive, Dakshina Naiki. He could not be angered by Mahaprabhu even when Mahaprabhu tried to anger him, and see the mood of Radha, Vama Naiki, in him. Krishnadas Kaviraj pointed out that even as Krishna, in the form of Mahaprabhu, tried to anger Gadadhar, he could not draw out this sentiment from him because he maintained a temperament like that of Rukmini's, due to the fact that Mahaprabhu had already stolen the Vamanaiki aspect of Radha from him. Indeed, Swarup Damodar Goswami asked Gadadhar why he did not reproach Mahaprabhu and instead tolerate Mahaprabhu's criticisms of him. To this, Gadadhar replied, Prabhu Swatantra Sarvakya Shiromani Tantra Sane Hata Kari Pala Nahi Mani. The Master is independent. He is the topmost omniscient person. If I speak on an equal level with him, this will not be good for me. The above opinion is one that is shared by the late Om Vishnupad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami. In his book Heart of Krishna, that contains a series of articles originally written in Bengali during the manifest presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Puri Goswami Maharaj states, that which is left over after the bhava and luster of Radha has been plundered by Krishna is Gadadhar Pandit. It is stated that no one loves Lord Gauranga more than Sri Gadadhar. Yet even though he takes much abuse and neglect from Gauranga, still he cannot leave him. His necessity and dependency is very great. The understanding is that without Mahaprabhu, he is transcendently incomplete, and he wants to get his bhava back from Krishna to again become complete. The complete united whole Radha Krishna. To unite Gauranga with Gadadhar, Radha Krishna, is the highest ideal of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. The worship of Gaura Gadadhar is in Madhurya Rasa, so is not for the Kanishta Adhikari, on the beginning stages of devotional service, where one strives to follow the principles and avoid offenses. Rather, this is for advanced devotees who are already steady in Krishna consciousness and getting a genuine taste, ruchi. Then, in transcendental view, they are worshipped like Radha and Krishna. Thus, Sri Gadadhar Pandit is like Sri Radha standing next to Gaura, Krishna, who has stolen her bhav, and she wants it back. When they are united, then the divine couple Radha Krishna, Gaur Gadadhar are present. Sometimes the devotees will see them as Radha Krishna and sometimes as Gaur Gadadhar, according to the pure devotee's mood. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written an arti song for Gaur Gadadhar describing Radha Krishna. This is the internal reality. It is all very esoteric and not to be imitated. Who can understand such wonderful and intimate pastimes? Thus we use ordinary terms to try to explain them, but these mellows are not ordinary. When Vakreshwar Pandit came to live at Puri, he would accompany Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya and other devotees to Tota Gopinath to hear Gadadhar Pandit give discourses on the Bhagavatam. One should hear the book Bhagavatam from the devotee Bhagavatam. One who thinks, I understand the Bhagavatam, does not really know the Bhagavatam's central meaning. On the other hand, an ignorant person who takes shelter of Bhagavatam will directly perceive its meaning. The Bhagavatam is pure love and is incarnation of Krishna himself. It recounts Krishna's most intimate activities. After recounting the Vedas and Puranas, Vedavyas felt unsatisfied. But as soon as the Bhagavata manifested on his tongue, his mind was immediately satisfied. Smar Gora Gadhadhara Kelikalam Bhava Gora Gadhadhara Pakshacharam Shrinu Gora Gadhadhara Charukatam Bhaja Godrumakanan Kunja Vidhom. Remember Gaur Gadadhar during the time of their pastimes. Meditate on Gaur Gadadhar, the divine couple, the par excellence of beauty. Hear beautiful discussions on the topics of Gaur Gadadhar and worship them in the forest grove of Godruma, bathed in the light of the moon. Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu Age Boshi Pare Bhagavat Shuta Tale Rashi. After enacting his pastimes on this planet for 48 years, it was seen by witnesses that Sri Gaurasundar entered into the body of Sri Tota Gopinathji, who was the deity in Puri on the Nilachal beach, served by Sri Gadadhar Pandit, by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Nyasi Shiramani Chesta Pujes Sadhya Kar, etc. In the diary of one Orissan devotee, Mahaprabhu is said to have first gone missing inside the Gundicha Mandir. Then the devotees began to come for four directions in search of their beloved Lord. Finally, outside the Tota Gopinath Mandir at Yameshwar, the outer garment of Mahaprabhu was found lying on the ground. There's a story in connection with Sri Gadadhar Pandit that when he was very old and trying to render service to Tota Gopinath, that he couldn't anymore reach to put the garland around the neck of the deity. To reciprocate with the loving service of the deity, knelt down. To reciprocate with his loving service, the deity knelt down to accept the flower garlands of his beloved Gadadhar, who is none other than his beloved Srimati Radharani, incarnate as mentioned previously. To this day, the deity of Tota Gopinath in the temple remains in a kneeling position to accept the eternal service of his beloved Gadadhar. A slight crack, which is still to be found near the right knee of Sri Gopinathji, is the spot where Mahaprabhu is said to have entered the deity. His appearance on the Amavasya moon, new moon, on the month of Vaishakha. Sri Gadadharastakam by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. There's a song. First verse is, I worship the greatly learned and exalted spiritual master, Srila Gadadhar Prabhu, who appears very splendid engaged in the Lord's devotional service. He always performs pastimes in Raja, where he is very prominent among the gopis, who are very dear to Lord Hari. Lord Chaitanya, the son of Sachi, is the dear Lord of Gadadhar Prabhu, who is preaching the service of Radha and Krishna. There's another by I don't know. Okay. Shri Gadadhar Pandit Ki Jai.
Verse. No, what verse? What is this chapter?
This was a text published on ISKCON This was a text published on ISKCON Desire Tree.
It's not from Chaitanya.
It's a summary study from Chaitanya Bhagavat mostly.
Just some different quotes.
Yes.